My name is Joseph Needham.
I'm Nick Becerra.
And I'm Tyler Maselli, and we are bringing you a feasibility study of a new arena in Oklahoma City with the capability of hosting hockey and basketball.
Within this feasibility study, we'll be giving you an executive summary, an introduction, then we'll go into a market analysis that will include an overview of the municipalities, demographic and psychographic data, along with venue data. We'll then give you a project description. After that, we'll go into key project assumptions. These will include financing options, revenue sources, growth rates of income and expenses. After this, we'll give you economic and fiscal impacts of this new arena. Finally, we will provide you with pro forma financials that will include a balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows, also with the depreciation and bond schedule. And then to end it all out, we'll give you the conclusions and recommendations of what we got from our study. We are conducting a Phase 1 feasibility study with the intent of making a recommendation as to whether or not there should be a new arena built in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We will be addressing many aspects of the current Oklahoma City market, such as demographics, municipalities, and current data for competing venues or arenas in the area. By doing a large overview of the current market, we will be able to create a complete and vivid description of the project at hand. We hope to show exactly what the new arena would entail, from where it would be located to the actual size and volume of the arena. Along with creating a vivid project description, we'll be making the key project assumptions necessary to show the possible financing options, revenue sources, and how the income and expenses will grow through both the city and new arena. From this data and more, we will show the possible economic and fiscal impacts that the new arena in Oklahoma City can have. Signs of positive impact are what we will be looking for, with the hope that they will continue beyond the initial years of service. The new arena will have the ability to host both professional basketball and hockey, but also many other events to allow for positive financial impacts. One of the most important parts of this study will be the pro forma financials that will be completed. We will show an income statement, a balance sheet, and a statement of cash flows, all with at least 5 years of data to give a true showing of what can be expected. From doing these financial statements, we will be able to truly show if building a new arena in OKC is worth it. The end of our study will be a conclusion of whether or not to build this new arena.
The Oklahoma Municipal League is the body that contains the local governments of the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma City represents itself and meets with District 8 when it comes to district meetings. The current mayor of Oklahoma City is Mitt Cornett. He has been the mayor since 2004. The city council consists of 8 wards. Some of the city council's top priorities are to provide a safe and secure community, maintain strong financial management, develop a transportation system that works for all citizens, promote thriving neighborhoods, support high-quality public education, and to enhance recreation opportunities and community wellness. The city is budgeting a large amount of public funds into bettering the community and infrastructure, especially new areas of building and renovation. A project known as Project 180 is a $160 million redesign of downtown streets, sidewalks, parks, and plazas to improve appearance and make the central core of the city more pedestrian-friendly. The city of Oklahoma City is the capital of the state of Oklahoma and is also the 8th largest city in land area in the United States. The population is 579,999, and the metro area population is 1.25 million. OKC was also named America's most affordable city by Forbes magazine in 2011, and a recent Gallup poll ranked OKC number 1 in job creation out of the nation's 50th largest metro areas. OKC says that this is due to their business-friendly environment. OKC boasts low unemployment, a stable housing market, and a very competitive cost of living, which continues to make OKC an attractive place to live and work. The city is also a major transportation hub in Oklahoma, with 3 interstate highways, several motor freight companies, and 3 municipal airports. The city has steadily increased its overall budget each year, with an average growth of 4%. About 65% of the city's general revenue comes from taxes. Oklahoma City is a relatively large city with a population of around 600,000. Its population consists mostly of white Caucasian people at 57%, but also has a large presence of Black and African and Hispanic people equaling 32%. Oklahoma City has a median income of $47,000 according to the census, but also has over 18% of its population under the poverty line. According to Nielsen and Esri, Oklahoma City has a large millennial and young population that are predominantly working in technical, sales, and office administration support positions. With this information, you can assume that this market is one that likes experiences and does not mind paying for them. Also, the information shows that a lot of the population is people who rent and live alone, which implies that many people may not plan on permanently living in this area. OKC also has a large cowboy and western influence, which may imply that people are very passionate about their culture. Esri also explains that a lot of the population are tech savvy and rely on their phones, tablets, etc. for much of their information and entertainment. This crowd is also very active on social media. Studies show that many people living here enjoy music and often attend live events and clubs for entertainment. A large percentage of the population is considered to be very concerned with their image and like to buy brand name clothes, products, accessories to enhance their appearance. Right outside of the city is populated by a different crowd. These areas are struggling financially due to a large amount of people that do not have college degrees and do not have well-paying jobs. Also, this is comprised of a lot of single parents and married couples without children. When looking at arenas that host professional sports, the size of the arena is a key component. Typically, most NBA and NHL arenas have a capacity of 18,000 to 20,000. In Oklahoma City, the only venue that has this kind of capacity is the current home to the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is the Chesapeake Energy Arena. This arena has a capacity of 18,500. While there are no other competing arenas in OKC, the BOK Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who hosts NBA preseason games, has a capacity of 19,200 and is only an hour and a half away. The BOK has also recently become the home of the Tulsa Oilers, which is an East Coast Hockey League team and an affiliate of the Winnipeg Jets. It would be wise to stick with the current size trend for these types of arenas when building a new arena due to cost and expenses. A new arena probably shouldn't extend beyond 22,000 seats, as it is already becoming increasingly difficult to sell out average-sized arenas. This would be even harder trying to bring a hockey team to town. The Cox Convention Center in OKC did used to host a minor league team and didn't sell well, causing a move to California just a year ago. One of the closest professional hockey teams are the Dallas Stars, and they have good attendance in an arena that seats 19,000. So filling an 18 to 22,000 seat arena for hockey is possible, but the initial upstart would be very challenging. Filling the arena for the NBA OKC Thunder shouldn't be much of a challenge at all, seeing that the Thunder are considered playoff contenders mostly every year, and the fact that the fans of the Thunder are described by many as some of the most loyal fans in the country.
The plan is to build a new arena in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma that would accommodate the current Oklahoma City Thunder NBA team and a possible NHL expansion team. The new arena would be above the average size of the current NBA and NHL arenas, with somewhere around 19,000 to 20,000 total seats, including suites and boxes. The new arena would take the place of the current Chesapeake Energy Arena that houses the OKC Thunder. State-of-the-art suites, boxes, and stadium amenities would be put in to establish the arena as one of the most modern in the country. Based on the fact that the last hockey team to play in OKC failed, a stronger emphasis would be put on making sure everything is up to standard for an NHL expansion team. With OKC being a relatively large city of around 600,000 people and a decent median household income of just over $47,000, it would be expected that a tax raise to fund the construction would be accepted. Also, with the Thunder having one of the highest revenues per fan and some of the most loyal fans in the country, it would be expected that a new location would be embraced rather easily. Chesapeake Energy Arena is already in a good location, and OKC is somewhat crowded downtown, so moving out of the city would be a good option. I think a very good option would be to put the new arena down by the river. The San Antonio Spurs have had great luck with this, having their arena right on the boardwalk at the San Antonio River. We already know the city is dedicated to enhancing infrastructure of the city, shown by their Project 180. Would the city be willing to fund another project to enhance the arena around a potential new arena to make it stand out even more? We also know that OKC is considered one of the most affordable cities in America, with low cost of living, high job creation, and decent household income. That being said, the public will possibly be satisfied creating new jobs and building up the community around the new arena, all at the same time strengthening their economy. A bright spot that should be considered about this location is the fact that it would be so easily viewable from the interstate, making passerbys notice and possibly want to come back to check it out. One con is the fact that it would be located almost directly off the interstate, which could lead to very confusing traffic patterns on game days, event days. Finally, new parking would have to be established around the arena. The simplest thing to do would be to build parking towers in the wide open space around the arena to accommodate the heavy traffic. Allowing local businesses to benefit from parking would boost the economy as well.
One option is public funding through taxes. The city has already once approved a 1-cent sale tax in 2008 to go towards improvements at the current Chesapeake Energy Arena, which was for their new basketball team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, to come to town. The tax lasted for 15 months. The improvements included a grand new entrance, additional restaurants and clubs at every level, a 12,000 square foot family facility center, and other NBA specific improvements. The fact that Chesapeake Energy isn't that old and has recently been renovated would make it tough for the city to convince the public to build a new arena. But with the possibility of attracting an NHL team to their city, it could be easier. Other cities such as Milwaukee have approved the same type of taxes to build new arenas in their cities. The Milwaukee Bucks new arena will be funded with $297 million collected from public funding by increasing taxes at the state and city level. By bringing the state in on an increased tax as well, Oklahoma City could ease their required tax increase. Another option for funding would be private funding. The Oklahoma City Thunder would be the primary tenant and would pay a large portion to fund the new arena. The team does not currently operate the arena that they play in. A chance to own and operate a facility could persuade them to fund a large portion of the new building. The NHL is also looking to expand west, and OKC could be a potential landing spot. The area is proven to embrace and be very loyal to new teams, like they did with the Thunder. An NHL team could be intrigued by this and put down their portion of capital to help fund the building of a new arena. Having the Thunder and the possible NHL team split the cost would make it an easier decision for both teams. The average construction cost of the top 15 NBA arenas is $587.5 million, and for NHL arenas is $290 million. Some arena construction costs of buildings that house both NBA and NHL franchises is the Barclays Center at over $1 billion, the American Airlines Center at $420 million, the Verizon Center at $260 million, and the Wells Fargo Center at $210 million. Based on these numbers, an arena in the $350 to $500 million price range would give the OKC area not only a top 5 NBA arena, but a top 5 NHL arena if the city was able to acquire the 16th NHL team in the Western Conference. Using both public and private funding would be the most sensible option for OKC, and is the case in most situations. Since teams are using around 55 to 60% public funding to build new arenas, and the arena that should be built would be between 350 and 500 million, the Thunder/NHL expansion team should expect the public to pay between $192.5 and $300 million in taxes to build a stadium. That would leave roughly $150 to $200 million to be paid for by the two organizations, or that amount in total if OKC cannot attract an NHL team. The OKC Thunder, as of January 2016, are valued at $950 million. Like stated at the end of the last segment, the OKC Thunder is valued at $950 million. The revenue from the Thunder would more than likely be the biggest source for the new arena. The Thunder were among the middle of the pack when it comes to game receipts, at $40 million annually, but are among the highest when it comes to actual revenue per fan, at $70 per fan, which once again shows the loyalty of the fans. The FCI, Fan Cost Index, is one of the biggest ratings when it comes to what a team is actually seeing from a fan. The Thunder are below the league average of $326.60 at $295.40, but this could be due to the lower cost of living, lower tax rates, and lower average expenses in OKC. So this could still be a good thing for the Thunder while remaining below the league average. The range of game receipts for the NHL teams is from $106 million annually from the Rangers to $15 million from the Florida Panthers, and revenue per fan is from $122 with the Winnipeg Jets to $9 with the Florida Panthers. The FCI for NHL teams ranges from $631.13 to $253.30. If OKC could attract an NHL team to its city, they could probably expect to be around the middle of the pack with their geographic location compared to the highest teams and lowest teams from all three ranges. Another source of revenue would be from the naming rights in the new arena. Chesapeake Energy currently pays $3.7 million per year to have the naming rights in OKC. A reconstructed contract for a new arena could allow for even more money. The NBA television deal is also in play. Each team gets a share of the $2.6 billion annually brought in by the NBA for its television rights. Getting an NHL team would be a huge revenue increase as far as television rights, seeing that the NHL USA just signed a record-breaking $2 billion over 10-year television deal. Money generated from the team brand will also account for revenue. The Thunder team brand is currently valued at $110 million. NHL ranges from $180 million to $20 million. Money generated from the arena itself will be revenue accounted for. The Chesapeake Energy Arena currently accounts for $195 million, while NHL ranges from $358 million to $34 million.
The impact of a new arena on the economy could be sizable. Anytime construction of something to this scale is started, the economic impact will be noticeable. For one, the amount of new jobs created will majorly boost the economy during the construction period. It would settle back down afterwards because the jobs from the current Chesapeake Energy Arena would just transfer to the new arena. The current arena would be taken down since there would be no need for it. Some new arena jobs would likely be created due to the larger size and new amenities, but not an overwhelming amount that would majorly impact the economy. Once again, though, if an NHL team came to the new arena, the economic impact could be very noticeable. New fans would emerge, different jobs would be created, and more travel would occur to the city, not only to see the NHL team, but to see the new arena. Businesses in and around OKC would have a new target in the NHL team, and new sponsorship deals could be created. As far as the fiscal impact of the building goes, taxes would need to be raised to provide a portion of the funding for construction. Also, the city would more than likely increase the overall budget to accommodate for a new arena and a possible NHL team. Currently, the tax budget for the city is set at about $600 million. That would need to be increased to accommodate paying for the new arena.
Here you will see our 5-year income statement. As you see, sponsorship and premium seating take up the bulk of our revenues, followed by naming rights and ticket sales. At the end of year 1, our total revenues equal $59 million. By the end of year 5, they are at $66 million, providing a $7 million increase. Taking a look at our operating expenses, you will see that depreciation is the bulk of our expenses. The total operating expenses equal $35 million for year 1 and $38 million for year 5, providing a $3 million increase. After interest expense and income tax, you will see that our net income for year 1 is $4.2 million, and it will increase steadily through all 5 years, ending at $11 million for year 5.
Here you can take a look at the balance sheet for our new arena. If you take a look at our total current assets, you can see that cash is our biggest, accounting for about $43 million, bringing the total current assets by the end of year 1 to about $65 million, and it increases almost $13 million by the end of year 5 to $78 million. If you look at our long-term assets, you can see that the building is the biggest, and it brings our total assets to about $720 million. By the end of year 5, it decreases down to $630 million for the total assets, which is caused by the accumulated depreciation that occurs. Moving down into the liabilities and owner's equity, you see that our deferred revenue is our biggest total current liability. Our total current liabilities is about $100 million by the end of year 1, increasing $11 million by the end of year 5 to $111 million. When you move down into the long-term liabilities, you see that our long-term debt is our largest from our bond, and we also have some other long-term liabilities. You see that long-term liabilities decrease over the years caused by the paying off of these liabilities. which brings our total liabilities to $424 million for the end of year 1, all the way down to $299 million by the end of year 5. This shows that we are being able to pay off our long-term liabilities. Finally, when you look down to the owner's equity, you can see that we have 2 teams moving into the new facility, the Oklahoma City Thunder and hopefully a new NHL team. The Oklahoma City Thunder will have about $192 million worth of equity, and the new NHL team will have $100 million worth of equity, bringing the total equity from the 2 teams to about $290 million. Our retained earnings comes from our income statement, from our net income, and accumulates each year to about $38 million by the end of year 5. When you look at the total equity, it's about $300 million by the end of year 1, and moves to $330 million by the end of year 5. This brings our total liability and owner's equity to $630 million by the end of year 5.
As you can see from our cash flows, there is no cash flows from the first year because there was nothing there. Starting in the second year in the operating section, the biggest cash flows are net income and depreciation. At the end of the second year, our total cash flow from the operating section is about $28 million, and by the end of the 5th year ranges up to about $33 million. In the investing section of the cash flows, the only investment we have is on our equipment, and that depreciates from about $1 million to $1.1 million at the end of the 5th year. Going down to the financing section, our long-term debt is our biggest cash flow, starting at around $32 million. By the last year, it's at $36 million. And our financing section totals, we have about $25 million we have to pay in the first year, and it stays pretty consistently to $25 million in the 5th year. With that, our increase of cash in the second year, I should say, is $1.1 million, and it goes all the way up to $6.4 million by the end, bringing our cash year-end balance in the second year to $44.5 million, ending at $57 million.
The construction of a new arena that can house both an NBA and NHL team in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma is deemed feasible by the study that we have completed. Based on our research and completion of pro forma financials of at least 5 years, a new arena would be a great fit for the city. One of our biggest concerns coming to this research was the fact that the current Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC has recently been renovated in the last 5 years. One thing that wasn't accommodated for, though, was the chance of bringing in a professional hockey team. Based on our financial statements, bringing in a professional hockey team will provide almost $6 million a year in additional revenue. Just having additional revenue doesn't mean being successful and making a profit, though. So we had to take a further look into our cash flow and balance sheets. One thing that we looked at was the fact that we had an increase in cash every year. This showed us that we had the money to pay our bills, such as the large amounts of debt, as well as wages, salaries, and other expenses. So not only were we paying these expenses, but there was cash left over to be reinvested into the arena the next years. We also had a lot of depreciation, which told us that we had a good amount of assets. The more assets we have, the easier it becomes to liquidize in an emergency situation if cash funds aren't available. Something else that made this project feasible was we were getting major equity from not just one but 2 sources. Both the Oklahoma City Thunder and the new NHL team that will be coming into town will provide major equity to the arena. Between the 2 teams, about 45% of the arena costs will be paid for. This left 55% to be paid for by the public through bonds. With the rates that OKC has and the loyal fans of the city, we realized that the public would take on this challenge. So once again, we completely recommend that a new arena be built in Oklahoma City to accommodate both the Thunder and a new NHL team. The project is very feasible based on all of our research and findings. We hope that this has been good information for the city and will help in all future decision making regarding the possibility of a new arena.